Okay, so I've been using HurricaneVR, and what I really like about it is the hand pose recording you can do using a Quest, but I always forget the exact setup. So there is an official video, but it doesn't have words and it doesn't explain what you have to do that well. So here's my kind of unofficial guide, mostly to help myself remember, because I'm always bugging the developer. Every time I get round to doing this again, I forget one or two of the steps. So I've opened the in the samples there's somewhere scenes, is it? Oh, Oculus, the Oculus scene, so that has inside it the XR rig, the Oculus XR rig variant, and all the Oculus hand tracking which you need. I've also connected my Quest 2, a Quest will work as well via Oculus Link, so you need to enable that, and then also you need to search for settings. It's there, it is, HVR settings. Just set these up so that you're pointing to your a folder inside your project for where it's going to save everything, essentially the pose directory, and make the folder in the project window. Don't do it in Explorer. You want to actually just go create folder, otherwise Unity doesn't recognize it. Okay, so that's the basics. Now in the Oculus hand tracking, you need to go on the hand pose recorder and disable physics. That's the first bit. Then, so I'm doing all these food items. The food items are set up kind of all, for me, ready to go. It's got so I'm not going to pick up the plate and the croissant, I'm just going to pick up the croissant. So that's the one with the collider. In fact, the collider I've put on a child, so you need an HVR grabbable child script. That's simply so that I can rotate this box collider. That's why I haven't got it actually on the mesh itself. And then, so it needs a rigid body. I've currently set it to is kinematic. Obviously in game I'm not going to have that because I don't want it to hang in the air, but the reason I've got it on while I'm doing the pose recording is so that it doesn't fall to the ground. It's just there for me to practice or record my pose on. Then I've got the HVR grabbable script. I'm using a custom highlight effect, which is Chronex highlight effect, but unless you want that kind of thing, you will need it. Okay, so I think that's good to go. So I'm going to put my headset on. Let me move this. Go into play mode. Initially I start with the controllers, and the reason for that is so I can kind of navigate to where I want to be. And I've set the croissant essentially on the kind of on an axis. It's the center of the world. I'm going to put the controllers down, away from my view, and then put my hands in front of my headset, so it now no longer we're now into the kind of hand tracking mode. The Quest doesn't see my controllers, it just sees my hands. And you can see the highlighter effect that I've put in, and literally you kind of just using one hand just pose it as you would want it to be in game, so it looks okay. And then with the other hand, just do a thumbs up, and you get this kind of slight pause. You feel it, you know, it's hard to, you may not see it. Yeah, that'll do. I'll just slightly move it. But so that's it. I've got that. I could do other ones. I could do the left hand grab as well. Might as well while I'm here, I think. So I'm kind of doing the same thing. Then a left hand. That's it. It's not the best pose I've ever done, but it'll do. Okay, so now take the headset off, come out of play mode. Okay, let's get my headset down, and so now you want to go to the HurricaneVR panel. You get to it via here in Tools, HurricaneVR. That opens essentially this panel, which I've docked. And then you want to go load recorded poses, and this is where I was talking about file paths. It'll open up whatever you've defined as your hand poses, and every time you make a recording, a new folder is created. This is now 17th of Feb as it is, 10:53 in the morning. So I go inside here and just tell it, right, that's my folder. It's freaky because initially you go in, you go, oh no, where's my recording? There's nothing in here. But actually all it's asking for is the folder. So you select it and it loads any recordings you've made. So I did 2 recordings, so there's a 0 and there's a 1, and you can see them now there as you would expect. So do one at a time. So it's you focus, these are the bits, this is the reason for the video, because these are the bits I kind of forget all the time. And attach. So the preset grab point fields. Okay, yeah, of course. So focus, and then you want to say essentially which grab points. So I need to make a grab point child on this. So I've selected this. I'll go create empty child grab points. Okay, and then I drag this into here, grab points. That's going to be a holder for everything else. I'll show you one I've done already. So you get your grab points, and then inside here are the poses. So we zoom back in. So in HurricaneVR I've got my poses, focus, I've added the grab points, which is this on the inside the croissant, and then attach. Now in the inspector I can grab that, and so you can, like, once you've attached it, remove it using this thing, but I find it's useful to have it in place, and the reason for that, you'll see why. Once you're in here and it's added this hand poser script and it's got that recording that we made, you can preview it, and as soon as I preview it, this is a right hand pose, that's why I've clicked on preview on the right hand. It kind of is just out of whack with what I'd originally wanted, and that's why I find it useful to keep the preview from HurricaneVR, so I can essentially realign it. I'm going to change that to global, I think, yeah. And so you've got a grab point, which is, it's hard to tell, but there's a kind of if I move it up, see there's a circle, that's the grab point, and obviously there's also the right hand preview, which is the hand itself. So if you're doing a two-handed, like a mirrored, because you can mirror these, a single recording, a single pose, and mirror it to the other side. If you're doing that, you kind of need to essentially make sure that that's in the right place. Usually I find the center is the best, and then you select this and move. So that's essentially moving just the pose, but the grab point's remaining in the center. And that allows you to then make a copy by clicking the mirror button here. I'm not going to do that. The video that the official video shows that. In this instance, I'm actually going to use two poses, one for left, one for right. So what I want to do is grab the grab point and essentially put it where I want more or less my and you can make that change to from the original, if that makes sense, but I find it's helpful just to start by aligning it with the original where the recording was. And then, so this point is where, so if the person in game gets close to this, the hand will snap to this grab point. Actually, I'm going to move it a little bit more forward and then move the hand. So I want, if the hand is close to around here, or if the grab, let's make it just go up a bit. So if the hand is close to this circle, it'll snap to that. So I might now just remove that so I can actually see better. Go back. I've still got my right preview, and I just want to make sure I'm not like clipping too weirdly into the object. It's a little bit of toing in front, but that feels okay. I'm holding a croissant rock in the right hand. Right, so I'm not sure if you need to, but at this stage I usually go save, and you can remove the preview. To do the other hand, focus on that, do the same process, attach. So now you can see a new grab point being created, and similarly, so this is a left hand, so I'm going to preview. And by the way, Alt and right mouse button allows you to do much more. So Alt key down, right mouse button, and a kind of a drag allows you to zoom in slightly better than using the WASD keys, which sometimes zoom around a little bit too much. So I'm holding the grab point, so because if you remember it's this, I kind of want to get in the more or less the right place first. Kind of feels about right. Essentially I've split the croissant depending on which side that hand goes to, it'll jump to one or the other. And then once I've got the circle, the grab point in place, I can move the hand. And again I just align it generally to the original, so I'm kind of close, but my original is a little bit off anyway, so I can now fix that. So remove that just so I can see better. Actually that looks pretty good now. I think You can get into the skeleton and actually, you know, change things here manually, like the transforms, but to be honest, this is good enough for me at the moment, and can be a bit of a mugs game. You're almost better off redoing the quest pose recording, because it's easy to start making these hand poses look wrong. Okay, so let's just say that's pretty good, and save, and I can undo the preview. So now I've got essentially this object with two grab points and these poses that are associated with it. And if you go into play mode now, you'll get all sorts of weirdness, and it won't actually do what you expect it to do. That's probably because you've forgotten to untick disable physics. And the other really important thing, which catches me every time, so this is why I'm telling it myself for making this video, is you need to add the grab points to your HVR grabbable script. So that's not how you do it. You just add the grab point and then just literally go, right, grab point. I think you can just grab it. Yeah, you can just add them. Make sure that you've got both of them. Yeah. So this is a list of grab points, 2 items. I've made 2 grab points. Right, might as well save in case we have any problems. Go back into play mode. So now I'm gonna put my headset back on, and again I'm using the controllers, not I'm using the controllers and not the hand tracking. You go back, just stand up, and grip button, and I've got my grab point working in one hand. So because I've set the rigid body to essentially whatever the term is, the gravity is not going to do anything, so it's not falling, but that makes it handy for like testing hand points. And then other hand, okay, so my left hand's not working. I have to see why that is. Okay, so if my left hand is too close to the right hand side, it's essentially using that grab point. If I'm in on that side, I did it once, didn't it? So I'm going to have to change how that works. It's a shame because that worked well. So what I could do is show you the other. Actually, I might take the time. So take the time to show you how to do the mirrored pose, which seems to be a resolution to this. And I was doing it on when I was picking up a plate. I did one pose and one the other. I'm sure there'll be a way of telling this. You're only left, you're only right. Mask. No. Might have to ask in the Discord, but for now, so let's say I delete this grab point, preview. So the way I found it is you then, okay, so instead of what I did, which was to use 2 grab points, I put 1 grab point in the middle of the object essentially. Then I move the preview back to where I want it to be. Turn it around just a bit. Yeah, that feels okay. So back on the grab point, save, and then you do a, let me show you, preview the other side, mirror, I click mirror, and I'm going to change, my mirror is on I think I might have to try Y and click mirror again. No. And it's glitched, so you have to undo preview and redo preview. And then after you've done that, save. If that's worked. This is the mirroring bit that I get confused at every time. Do I still have my other one? Yeah, I do still have my other one. So I've got a left and a right, and I usually then at this stage have to really put things back in place for whatever reason. So got my main, put it up a bit, okay, so I'm looking essentially at the yellow circle just here, so let's do the right hand first, bring it back down. To be honest, once it's in your hand, you don't really. Yeah, that's okay. That's good. So that's good. I'm going to change this one. So that's the right hand. I'm going to change the left hand one now. Just positioning, you know what, more or less looks right. Okay, that's not bad. And back on the grab point, save. So I often just preview and unpreview because of that glitch. I find it sometimes jumps, so just to make sure that seems okay, I'll save again. So now I've actually got only one grab point, but with two pose, a single pose which is mirrored. So you need to make sure obviously that you go back here and you update that, because I've lost one of the grab points I had before. Okay, so let's try again. Quest on. Using the controllers. I'll go over to. Now let's try this. So, grip button. That's my right hand pose, looking good. Grip button with the left, and that's my left hand pose. Now I could tweak that a little bit, but actually for me that's fine in my game. And if I go in the middle, it jumps, and the same with the other one. Perfect. So yeah, so multiple poses, you get this problem of it will jump to one or the other, and I haven't found a way of just enforcing. So what was happening is the left hand was latching onto the right hand pose, but actually with a single grab point, which is essentially somewhere in the middle of the object, and the mirrored pose is allowing me to be much more for it to work better. Can't say enough good things about HurricaneVR. Highly recommended, and the dev, to be honest, is really helpful on his Discord. So I hope that's helpful. Cheers.